Hey there, welcome back to The Greater You. Always good to be with you. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep giving you great content and reach more people. Our goal is to get out there and hit as many people as possible because this stuff really works and improves people's well-being. Today, I've got a really important topic. We always hit important topics because people are important and you guys are important, and we want your lives to be better. We want you to be happier, healthier. We want you to be fit in mind, body, and spirit, right? Okay, so thinking about this topic, this is the managing anger topic. This is just a quick overview. When you're doing anger management work in a coaching atmosphere, it's a lot of skills and tools based stuff. And it is recommended that you do some one-on-ones with a coach. And if your anger management stuff is really significant, definitely get a licensed therapist involved if you find that you're explosive or ever violent, especially. However, everyone gets angry. Anger is a normal human emotion that all people experience. So we want to talk today about some solutions for your typical run-of-the-mill anger, stuff that we all experience just with the frustrations of life and so forth. So a few points to look at. We've got 5 here to discuss, and they're in no particular order. All of these are helpful, and you would use them, as needed, right? So point number 1 is obviously prevention is best. If there's something in your life that's unnecessarily upsetting you, you need to disengage with it. I was working with a coaching client recently, and there was a particular type of media that they were engaging, and it kept bringing up anger. Disengage from that. Remove it from your life. It's not worth it, right? So prevention is really helpful. It's a great solution. If there are things in your life that are causing frustration and anger that are unnecessary, unimportant things, then remove them. Okay. So that's that one. Now, that's obviously not the case if it's your, best friend or a workmate or your spouse or whatever, and there's moments where you're getting angry or frustrated with them, then you need to dig in and there's work to be done. So these apply to that if removing things from your life, getting out of the relationship or whatever is not really what you want to do. Okay. So managing expectations. This is the cause of most anger outbursts, is that the person who's getting angry has some unrealistic expectations about how other people should behave, act, or think, right? If you drive in the United States of America, I'm assuming this probably happens on other places on the planet. There are going to be drivers that cut you off or go too fast or too slow or blah, 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 wave in and out of the lines. If I have an unrealistic expectation that all drivers are going to follow exactly the speed limit and follow exactly all of the traffic laws, I'm setting an unrealistic expectation that's setting me up to get angry when that person, imperfect as we all are, inevitably, makes a mistake in the traffic rules. So that's just one example, but managing expectations happens in relationships. If you're expecting people to read your mind or expecting people to behave in a certain way, guess what? Human beings do not like to be controlled, and they're going to show you in no uncertain terms that you don't get to control their behavior. So letting go of those expectations helps you get rid of control. Your job is not to control other people, guys. That is not how life works. You can only control yourself. And that is maybe suspicious too. Maybe it's more that you learn to manage your own self, but you don't get to control others. So reduce those expectations and you will be frustrated way less often, right? So for instance, parents will, when we're doing parent coaching, they'll often whine and complain about, why don't my kids listen to me? Well, guess what? They're kids. Kids need to hear repetition over and over and over for them to really learn. Boundaries have to be reinforced multiple times, many more times than a parent thinks they need to be reinforced in order for children to learn those boundaries. Manage those expectations and you won't get so mad at your kids. And guess what? They're going to be more likely to keep your boundaries and your rules when you're not getting angry and yelling at your kids. So manage your expectations in all areas of your life and really reduce them if you want to have a more peaceful life. Okay, number 3, if you are upset, immediately start doing 5 to 10 slow and low breaths. Slow breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. and low, meaning low in the body. Moving that stomach, not breathing from your shoulders, breathing from your lower abdominal area. That really calms the mind. 5 to 10 of those before you respond in anger at all. 5 low and slow, slow and low, deep breaths. 10 slow and low, deep breaths. Calm that mind down, refresh it with oxygen, and get your cooler head to begin to prevail. Okay, fourth one, challenge irrational thinking. The extremes in your thinking cause the anger to flare. Oh my goodness, we get this voice in our head of irrational thoughts. Sometimes it's like fear-based irrational thinking, which can make us more prone to being agitated or angry. But irrational thinking generally, where we're thinking in extremes. So if we find ourselves thinking and speaking using always, never, you always do this. Really, does the person always do that? That's all they're doing all day long? Clearly, you just exaggerated, right? So challenge those irrational thoughts and those irrational words that grow out of those thoughts and soften them. When you challenge your rational thinking, soften the sharp edges on it. Oh, sometimes people cut you off when you're driving, not always people cut you off when you're driving, right? So that whole quote of nobody ever, always or nevers. Yeah, well, get rid of those extremes. Soften. Try softer, not harder. Challenge those irrational thoughts and soften them with more realistic, rational thinking. Sometimes people, are stupid and make stupid decisions and say stupid things, but not always people. Sometimes people get kind of in they get upset and kind of get on a soapbox and they're like, people are just stupid. Well, really? Like all people? That is so extreme. There are sometimes people that are stupid, or sometimes some people just make stupid decisions. We don't have to be so extreme in our thinking. It leads to unnecessary anger and stress. The fifth one, remove yourself from the situation as smoothly, respectfully, and quickly as possible and start working at calming down. If you're in a situation with a coworker and it's just not working, call the timeout. Like, hey, you know what? I need to take a break and think this through. Remove yourself. I love it when grown-ups put themselves in timeout so that they can start to do those 5 to 10 slow and low breaths, start to manage their expectations, challenge their rational thinking. Always go to accountability. When you remove yourself, don't go to blame and be like, here's what they're doing and it's all their fault. Well, good luck. Now you're trying to change someone else again and control them. You can only look in the mirror and say, what is it that I've done here to cause them to be upset? What have I done here to add to the tension? So own it, prevent it, manage expectations, have those 5 to 10 slow and low breaths. I would say do that every day, no matter what, whenever you're feeling upset or stressed. Challenge that irrational thinking, soften it with less absolute language and softer language that's more rational and realistic, and remove yourself from situations as smoothly and quickly as you can, so that we don't make a fire, a bonfire out of a small little, kindling of a fire. Let's try and cool things off before it gets worse. So there you go. Those are 5 tips to manage anger. These work. They are proven. I've used them. Hundreds of clients have used them, probably thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people have used these. There's great literature to back up that these things work well to help people manage anger. So have a more peaceful day and a more peaceful life, and we will talk to you soon.